Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, the Nevada Museum of Art is making waves across the state. Joining us today, David Walker. He's the CEO for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
The holidays are upon us, a time of celebration, family gathering, and gratitude. There are gifts to be wrapped, feasts prepared, love shared, and memories made. Life is precious, so let us cherish each other and all that we have. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We thank you for letting us enrich your lives, and thank you for your support throughout the year. Happy holidays.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to welcome to the program for the first time, David Walker. He's the CEO of the Nevada Museum of Art. Pleasure to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you.
The Nevada Museum of Art has been very intriguing to me because it used to be a little place in Reno and not very exciting. And it seemed like it changed dramatically in its presence in Reno when it got its new building, which is a fabulous architectural building and has all kinds of spaces beyond art, but just for events, etc. as well. But was that the big change in the presence of the Nevada Museum of Art in Northern Nevada?
Yeah, I think that was absolutely a milestone in the institution's history. You know, Nevada Museum of Art was established in 1931, so it's gone through many iterations to get to the place where it is now. The trajectory has always been up, which is great. But yeah, when the building opened, I think it signaled the community's commitment to elevating the stature of the arts and culture in our region. I think the community is not necessarily known for being populated with art collectors and people who are worldly in that way, but I think there were many individuals who were on the board at the time who felt that this was a necessary next step to continue to grow Reno and its reputation. I was fortunate. I was recruited to come here in 2007, not long after the building opened. And the charge to me was, we have a new building now, what are we going to do with it? And I think that we went through about a year-long strategic planning process where we decided that we were no longer going to pursue being an encyclopedic museum, that is having objects from all over the world. We were going to be a thematic museum, and we were going to focus on a couple of things and do them well and do them better than anyone else in the world.
Now, what's interesting about Reno is that even though, as you say, it was not top of mind for most of the population, but there was really a thriving arts culture for a long, long time. I mean, maybe from the inception of Reno almost.
Yeah.
It just hadn't had the publicity and promotion to let people know, hey, we're actually here and we're doing things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's true. I also think the success of the museum, and it really did begin with the Will Bruder building that opened, and we've done some wonderful expansions since then, and we have big plans ahead for Reno with regard to continuing to increase the size of the facility to accommodate a growing population. But the building really, and the museum at large, really lacks pretense. It's a very accessible cultural organization. You don't walk in and feel intimidated. There aren't Roman columns, in the front entrance. It's sort of become the public square for our community. And so, as you mentioned earlier, we do wonderful art exhibitions. But our education agenda is very strong. We do a lot of public programming, and the community uses the museum facility for everything from weddings to proms to corporate events. We use the new Sky Room for conferences and films and concerts and gala dinners, and so it's a place where everyone feels comfortable. And our mission statement starts off with, "We are a museum of ideas." And actually someone called us that about 12 years ago in New York, and we said, that's pretty good. Maybe we'll use that. And I think it's not so much about the objects on the walls. It's about how do we leverage those objects in terms of engaging the community and a variety of public programming. And not simply designing a one-size-fits-all kind of approach here, rather understanding that being the only art museum in the state of Nevada means that we have multiple audiences. Now we have global audience and regional audience. And so we try to meet the interest of all those audiences.
Okay, so let's start with the kids, because that's obviously the future for the museum as well as the community and for the art world.
Yes.
So in a world that exists, and I'm holding up my telephone, on this phone for so many of our kids, how do you draw them into the arts, and how do they respond to what you're offering?
Well, we have an enormous interest from the kids. First of all, if you're a high school student, you show your high school ID card at the front desk and you get in for free. We're finding that to be, the last decade, really popular for dates and what have you.
For dates?
For dates. I think the fact that we have up to like 10 proms a year now at the museum, who knew that would be part of our, annual, we'll call it revenue stream, but also a community engagement. Kids decide where they want to have a prom. It's not their parents, and it's not school administration. So I think that's really exciting. But I think what we've done is we have a very popular school tours program, and we work specifically with the Washoe County School District. And the reason why that's so popular is that we have hired a new senior VP of education, and I say new, about 3 years ago, and she comes from a science background. Most museums hire art historians to run their education department. We hired a scientist. And so what we have done is we have put together and articulated really what STEAM education means. We're sort of not against, but STEM education for us feels a little empty. And without the arts and humanities in that equation, I think you're missing a big part of the puzzle. So we know there's not going to be, we're not going to go back to the time when you have a Friday afternoon for 2 hours or 3 hours dedicated to arts. That's just not going to happen. Certainly not in Nevada when you're ranked 49th in public education right now. Teachers are hungry to learn how, though, to integrate visual art strategies into their core curriculum subjects. And so we have been working with them. We provide in-service credits to about 120 students or teachers every month. We do STEAM conferences around the state, and our curriculum and lesson plans are now being deployed throughout the school districts. And so we're getting support from Tesla and blockchains and Switch and City National Bank and companies that really believe strongly that workforce development is there's more to it than creating jobs for today. But when you introduce creative thinking, critical thinking skills, and open up the minds not only of the teachers but then the students, you have a different kind of student being educated in the state of Nevada.
Well, and it seems to me that you know, when you look at technology, that there's an incredible amount of art involved in that, whether it be the pictures from the Hubble Space Telescope. So now you're talking about astronomy and you're talking about space, but you're also talking about some of the most mind-blowing images that we've seen in the 21st century.
So creativity, wonder, curiosity, those are all things that we talk about all the time, and those are what young people are exposed to when they're in the museum, and that's what the education department does so well, I think, is drawing those out. You know,
can you teach curiosity?
You can. I think you can. I think a lot of us don't excel in our lives and our careers if we've gone down a path that we were told was the path for us because it was the most practical path. I think that sometimes if we follow our own instincts and pursue what we love and what draws us towards something, I think we tend to do much better. I think that's proven. If you walk through a school tour at the Nevada Museum of Art and you stand in the back and you witness 35 students and their teacher going through a particular lesson plan in a gallery with our gallery educators, and our gallery educator says to the class, "What do you see in that work of art?" You'll have 35 hands go up and you'll have 35 answers, and guess what? They're all right. And I think in the past we used to say, "No, that's not what's going on in this picture. Let me tell you what's going on in this picture." Those days are over. I think it's really important to engage young people, to validate what they see, what they feel, what they're taking away from a work of art. It's all valid. And I think that's the future of art museums.
All right, so how do you take that and put it into the real world? And I'll give you an example, which is, you know, really at home for me, which is the news business, where, you know, 1 or 2 stories or 3 stories dominate every single newscast. You pick any town in America. I'm not picking on Reno or Las Vegas, but you pick any town in America, and it's the accident on the corner of this street and that street. It's the drug dealer. It's you know, police and fire, rotating beacons. When there is so much more that is interesting and newsworthy and actually reflects the community that we live in, because most of us don't exist in a world of those horrible things. I mean, an accident is terrible, but it involves 2 people and their insurance companies. It does not involve a community of 500,000 or 2 million people.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, I think those are, you know, I was in the journalism business, you know, years ago, so I'm aware of how much it's changed. You know, frankly, it's very disappointing. You know, we have a big initiative going on in Las Vegas right now, and for the last several years I read the paper religiously every day, the Review-Journal in Las Vegas, and I am surprised how much of the negative news and the horrific crimes dominate the headlines in Las Vegas. It's an incredible city, and I think it gets, it's not getting its due if you were simply to subscribe to the newspaper from Missouri. You go, I don't know.
But you know, now, and I'll give you the other side of that, and I'll play both sides of the fence here. The Review-Journal is actually, in my opinion, doing a really good job of being a newspaper, because they are covering both the negative, which they feel obliged to do. You know, and you talk to any editor and they're going to tell you our job is not to keep the news a secret, so if somebody goes out and kills somebody, it's got to be part of our news coverage. But they are one of the few news organizations that are adding staff. I mean, take away the opinion pieces and the ownership, because that you know, the New York Times has an editorial page, and you know, they have their opinion as well. But it is interesting that you know, so much of the coverage across the country is similar in a negative nature that doesn't reflect the communities that we live in. And so therefore art, for example, is not one of the big things. But let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about art and what you're doing and the impact you're going to have on Las Vegas here in the very near future. We'll be right back.
Tim Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia.
Yeah.
Because of UMC, there's a wide open road ahead of me.
Because of UMC, she can grow up with her twin sister.
Because of UMC, I'm here to help you.
UMC, the highest level of care in Nevada.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with David Walker. He is the CEO of the Nevada Museum of Art. So one of my favorite things that you guys have done involved me and my wife driving south of Las Vegas on the 15 to go down and see the 7 Magic Mountains. And I found out about it because of a big article in the New York Times. Where did this idea come from? And the response has been phenomenal. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, Nevada is such a great state, and we're situated in the largest desert, coldest desert in America. And we also happen to be the birthplace of land art. And so artists, prominent artists around the world continually look to us and to Nevada to inquire whether or not there's an opportunity to do an intervention somewhere in the state. Now what they don't know is 85% is under the jurisdiction of the federal government, so it's never easy. 7 Magic Mountains is an example of a Swiss artist, Ugo Rondinone, who's very prominent, who very much wanted to create a piece in this sort of category or the continuum of land art. And so we worked with them for a couple of years to not only identify the perfect location, because in the background, Jean Dry Lake is where some of the most important early works in the 60s occurred. It's on federal land. It's within Clark County. It was very complicated. It was a very expensive project, but we stayed with it for about 5 years and worked side by side with the artists. We engaged Las Vegas Paving Corporation to dig up the boulders. We had a large Italian saw come in.
I mean, this thing is huge. These are not small.
It is a big piece, and we just had it repainted. It's wonderful. And it continues, so it opened in 2016, and since the day it opened, it gets 1,000 visitors a day.
Which is phenomenal.
We've had to redo the parking lot numerous times. It's something else. So we are going to make an announcement, we hope any day now, that the piece will become a permanent fixture in southern Nevada. Getting back to your point about teaching curiosity and wonder, you don't need to have an art history background to love that piece. It's amazing. People pull up and they run to it. The kids run to it. They love it. It's more than a selfie, photo op kind of. It's a serious piece of artwork, but as you approach it, you smile and you feel happy, and you leave and you feel like a better person, more optimistic. So it's a great piece, and we're really proud of it. It's just been For us, it was an important project to pursue. I'll tell you, we had been thinking for more than a decade that we would like to seize the opportunity and take on the responsibility to establish a Nevada Museum of Art in Las Vegas. For us, this project allowed us to test the waters in a more serious way, to see if we couldn't stimulate a more serious conversation about the future of the visual arts in Las Vegas, and also to demonstrate that when we say we're going to do something, we do it. And so it performed for us on all levels, and I really believe it helped to open the doors to where we are right now with moving forward with that.
Okay, let's take a pause here, and we'll come back and we'll talk about exactly that, the expansion into Las Vegas after this timeout.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Are you a homeowner who's interested in remodeling or building a home? At Design Outdoor, we can show you how adding natural or manufactured masonry stone can add beauty and value to your home. And we refer only the best contractors. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Hey guys, are you watching the game at a friend's or the bar again because you can't watch at home with your wife? Or worse, because she kicked you out and kept your couch, your flat screen, and your kids? What's the one thing a man needs when he loses a good woman? A good lawyer. And when he loses a bad woman, he needs a great lawyer. What makes a good woman a bad woman? You tell me. You're the one that can't watch the game in your own home. I'm men's rights attorney Marilyn York, and I represent men in divorce, custody, and family law matters.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. And a lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with David Walker. He's the CEO of the Nevada Museum of Art. So I thought it was very interesting a few years ago when Las Vegas built the Smith Center. $500 million project, beautiful facility, but in a way reminiscent of the Pioneer Theater in Reno, which holds 1,200 people. The Smith Center holds a couple of thousand people. But basically, starting off with Broadway comes to Reno, now it's Broadway comes to Las Vegas. The thing that stunned me was how the community of Las Vegas, the real community of Las Vegas, went crazy for this thing. Mm-hmm. The season tickets sold out almost instantly. It became the social gathering place, even though the Las Vegas Strip had had many Broadway shows on there over the years, and many of the greatest entertainers in the world over the years. Suddenly this was something that became personal for the people of Las Vegas. And I think that the Museum of Art is going down that same road, where the community is so hungry for something to be theirs that you are going to do incredibly well. I know my good friend Tick Segerbloom is involved with you guys and in finding new space, because you're already outgrowing what was going to be your original space.
Yeah. You know, first of all, Myron Martin, who's a good friend of mine, who's the CEO of the Smith Center, has done a great job. And I think they did absolutely the right thing. It was one of the first projects in Las Vegas that was really designed for the people of Las Vegas, for that community. There's 2.2 million people who live there. I think previous attempts at establishing an art museum or an art gallery in Las Vegas have been a little misguided in that there wasn't enough due diligence done with regard to what will a community support. It was, I think, often about, hey, we have 43 million visitors a year, let's take advantage of that. And I think that although we expect that that's going to play some role in our sustainability, our business plan, I think that Las Vegas now is poised to do what all cities must do to achieve greatness, and that is they need to invest in the arts and culture. They need to take yet another step. And I think the museum will do for the visual arts what the Smith Center has done for the performing arts. And we have, I got to tell you, 100% support from government, legislature, donors, the community at large, the school district. It's been really exciting, and it really feels good. I was just there yesterday. We're talking to the county commission right now about an amazing parcel of land next to the Clark County Government Center, and we believe it's the exact parcel that we need for this world-class museum to be built.
Well, I think it's incredibly exciting, and we will be happy to follow the path of this, but I couldn't agree with you more. It's just another step in making a great American city even greater, and arts and culture is such an important part of that. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Sam.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hey, Dad? What are you learning? This place is great. Huh? You gotta try this.
Wow, this stuff is great. People are gonna love it.
Yes. Yes, they will.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Take a look at Pro Group Management and see how your workers' comp requirements can be met head-on. By taking a proactive approach, Pro Group can assure that your company is meeting or exceeding state and federal standards. As you move forward in your industry, Pro Group moves with you, simplifying regulatory tasks, clearing the way so you can get the job done and look to your future success. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. You can also download podcasts of the show free of charge at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Everywhere is Nevada Newsmakers. We'll see you on the next broadcast.